Oh my goodness. Two new bodies in studio with us. Nervous ladies at all?
Maybe a bit.
Okay, yeah, nothing to be nervous about. Just everybody in the world is listening right now and watching. So relax. In all seriousness, we're gonna have some fun because we've been friends for a while now, and here we are coming full circle. My friends from the United Way, Tiffany and Chantel. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
I'm doing great. I'm great.
Vertical.
It feels great. For people who don't know who you are, I want you to give an introduction. Tell us about you, your family, your job, and shoe size.
Well, my name is Chantel Carlson, and I serve as the Senior Community Engagement Program Manager at United Way of Cass Clay. My family, I guess I have a husband and 2 fur babies, a dog and a cat, and my shoe size, interesting, depends on the type of shoe, a 7.5 or an 8.
Okay, I can respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tiffany, how about you?
Yep, I'm Tiffany McShane, and I just hit my 7-year mark at United Way.
Yeah.
And so right now I'm currently our community engagement director, and so I get to work with fantastic people like Chantel every single day. My family keeps me sleep deprived, so I have 2 young boys, a 4-year-old, and then a 16-month-old little boy. My shoe size, Chantel and I could probably share, so now I know that I can look to her closet.
Did you see? That's why we asked, because we can figure
you.
out who your shoe pal is.
You just created many opportunities in
3
the
years
office.
together, and we didn't know that.
Wow.
So.
Right.
I'm a 13, so if anybody out there is looking for a shoe buddy, I'm your guy.
Here you go.
Ladies, we got to spend a lot of time together last year. Mm-hmm. I finished up my year as the campaign chair for the United Way. What an incredible organization you guys run. Before we dive in, and we're going to talk about this Emerging Leaders Program, the United Way has a few facets of what they do. I think from the community side looking in, they're going to say, well, the United Way helps out nonprofits. But it's so much more specific than that. And then there's also this leadership aspect of what you're doing. Help us better understand that.
Yeah. So, our focus is really just to look at our community, activate our community, and hone in on some specific complex issues that we're faced with in our community, and then try and come together with partnerships and collaborations to try and tackle those issues to create more of a lasting change. And through that, we've had the privilege of not only working on the community impact side, but then tapping into the leaders in our community by running programs like our 35 under 35 Women's Leadership Program, and then also the Emerging Leaders Program that Chantel runs.
Well, I'll say this. First off is I think that sometimes there's a community perspective that the United Way is a community chest model, right? That it's just a spot that all these people go and they can just get a little bit of money and that you give a little to a lot. And it's really not that anymore, is it?
No, it's not. Really, as Tiffany mentioned, it's about identifying those core areas in our community that we might need a little extra support, identifying the resources that are the best and then activating them in our community. So whether it's partnering with a nonprofit or activating volunteers in our community, that is really our goal, is to rally around those central issues that we may have.
So I have a bleeding heart for things that are taking care of the community. Some of the things that the United Way helps to fund have deeply impacted my life. I grew up in this community as a kid that could always use a little bit of help. And my mom had limited means, and we were able to get extra support from the things that the United Way supports. And so through attrition, through connection, it's been a beautiful thing in my life, and I'm just so honored to be a part of it now. But you have this leadership element too. And leadership is my jam, ladies. That's like my favorite thing. And you mentioned, Tiffany, 35 under 35. I'm like one of only 2 guys that gets to come in and talk to the 35 under 35 women. And it's comfortable for me because I was raised by a flock of women. It was my mom, my sister, my aunt, my 4 cousins, 3 of whom were female. And the guy, we'll just say that he wasn't the machoest of fellas. And so when I'm around 35 under 35 women, I'm so on fire. I'm in like my element because I get to hang out with strong, empowered women, and that's what I was surrounded by growing up. What's your favorite leadership thing that you do? Like of the entire year, of all the elements that you do, what's your favorite thing that the United Way is fueling?
I would have to say emerging leaders. We've seen emerging leaders just expound. It's huge. We went from probably 3 years ago, we were under 100 individuals in that program, and now we have over 740 individuals that are in the program. And so just seeing the growth is exactly that. It's that focus that our community has on taking their staff and investing in themselves to try and create opportunities for them to deepen knowledge, deepen connections. And so to me, it's just the excitement around seeing individuals that want to get involved and want to be part of something like our Emerging Leaders program.
How do you take a program that 3 years ago had 100 people, which is still a big number of folks? I in fact, remember speaking at an event that you had invited me to, and the room had about 100 people in it. And I thought, wow, this is something really special. How do you go from 100 to 740 in 3 years? What's the trick?
Listening to feedback, I would say, has been the number one trick, and then really creating something that people are excited about. It's amazing what happens when you just stop and you listen to what our community members want. And so we have been really thoughtful about not only providing those leadership development opportunities, but also providing opportunities to bring those emerging leaders closer to the work of United Way. People are raising their hand because they want to volunteer. They want to give back, not just monetarily, but through time and resources and the skills that they have. And so we have been diligent creating programming that fits what our emerging leaders want, and then allowing them to run with it and to share it with their friends and their peers and their coworkers. There's nothing more valuable than that peer-to-peer connection when it comes to creating a community like we have with emerging leaders.
I think that people want to get involved. They often don't know how. I think that so many people on their heart have this desire to do something, and then it's like the Netflix model in a sense. Like if you go to Netflix and you're thinking, I'm going to watch something tonight, and then you scroll through and you end up watching nothing except for the Netflix screen for like 45 minutes, and then you give up. I think that sometimes that can be volunteering for people, is that it seems like there's so many options that you don't know exactly what it is. But the United Way is creating different opportunities, right? You're curating community, you're building leadership, and then you're providing for them maybe a smattering, a sampling of sorts so that they can try out different things to really see what gets them on fire. Yeah. Am I covering that right, or am I missing a beat?
Yeah, it's almost like you read our feedback surveys, or you're in the coffee connects that I have with our emerging leaders. I would say that's one of the things that I hear most that individuals value about the program is that, you know, oftentimes our lives are busy and it's hard to sit down and to go find that time or to do some Google searching. And so we make it easy for our emerging leaders. You get email announcements about events. There's Facebook posts. And so we make it as easy as possible for you to get connected. And we're also purposeful about our scheduling to make sure that it aligns with everyone's type of work. We know that not every event is going to work for you, but we try to be really purposeful to make sure that we hit all different types of leaders within the program.
Fantastic stuff. We could talk all day about this, but we are about out of time. If somebody wants to sign up for the Emerging Leader Program, what are the parameters and where do they go?
So they can shoot us an email at emergingleaders@unitedwaycastclay.org. And the parameters are just excitement. Like, get excited right away. Chantel will walk you through the rest. We want you to be invested in United Way in the issues that we're focusing on in our community at the $300 level and up. But the other focus is on taking a personal focus on giving back to your community at the 8-hour level on an annual basis, and many individuals far exceed that. So just get excited, be ready with questions, and we're excited to plug you in where you are most interested.
I feel like one of those old TV infomercials, but less than $1 a day to get involved. And that's actually a really great opportunity because you're not only getting them involved with their money, but you're also getting them involved with their time, their energy, and their passion. So ladies, thanks for what you do. Chantel and Tiffany with the United Way. Folks, we're going to go to break. In the meantime, head to hatchrealty.com and take a look at your next house. This is Real Estate Radio with Erik Hatch.